Okay, Bruce, back at ya for the last video. All right, I'm working on another one though. Trust me, I got something new that I'm gonna do, but I meant as far as the 4 videos that I'm committed to reviewing. So GDXY, I think this ultimately will become one of my favorites. I just wish it would wake up, right? I know how undervalued these miners are. I know where they're likely to go. I just don't know when. So let's see. I honestly think the latest is September, and I hope it's a lot sooner than that. So I'm not putting any more in GDXY until I see it break out. I have a good position, bought most of mine in 19s, a little bit in the mid 18s, but I'm just going to wait for it to break out because I think there's better yields coming until this stuff starts really moving. Just an FYI, I mean, if you're a gold bug and you just want to be in there, go for it. And I'm not anti at all. I'm just waiting for that breakout, right? And sometimes it means the market has to pull back. The dollar has to get slammed down, which both of those things are very likely to happen. You know, again, the question is always when. All right, let's get into the details here. GDX was up 0.78 and we underperformed. We only did about 90% of that performance, right? We were up 0.63. Remember that they had already rolled earlier on Thursday this week, so that was a good news scenario. They captured 95% of their gain, rolled into a new position. No new shares. So one of the issues you have in these funds when it's just kind of mediocre, the markets, most people hate precious metals mining and miners right now. They just haven't, they've probably done better than many things, but they're so undervalued relative to metal, which sometimes you have to buy things and you just have to suck it up and accept that you know where it's going and the fact that you own it. But some of us want good yield or we want good growth on our money, and so I'm willing to own some, and as soon as I see it break out, knowing that it's going much, much higher, I'll load up a lot more. So my audience will be the first to know when I say, hey, it's moving. All right, so no new shares, mediocre, tepid. I was hoping for a low on Thursday or Friday. That would have to mean we move up more on Monday. I mean, clearly there were some lows in there at 33.15 as far as GDX went, and we're now at 33.41. So let's see if 13 ended up being the low, but I need to see it. It wasn't much of a performance on Friday and less than 1%. Okay, let's move over to the weekly. Since there was no synthetic trades, in the weekly we had sold on Thursday and split it. They laddered this pretty nice, 3,400 and 3,450. So we are up slightly on those, 7.61 into the 40,000, and we collected 99% of the 614 weeklies. So we just need to see some movement. We're not that far off on our synthetic. There were no new trades, but we have the 765,000 loss. But otherwise, we look pretty good on the money collected. Again, this is out to 719. It's not going to impact having to roll or do anything like that relative to collecting money and being able to have a nice payout come July 5th, I think, is when they declare, and I think they pay out on the 8th all the single stock funds, if I recall that accurate. So let's look at holdings. So yeah, we have this 765,000. Here's what we've captured, right? We split these evenly on 34 and 34.5, and we're trading at 33.40. That was June's number. Yeah, 33.41. So where is that percentage wise? That's 1.77 and 3.26. So again, a lot of that just depends on what GDX does. I mean, I'd love to see it come up and challenge this 34.50, knowing that my synthetic is going to make some money. But at the same time, I'm happy collecting this money until it decides it's going to break out. I mean, it's not breaking down, it's just not breaking out. And it happens to be in a bull flag, so it's what we call a slow decline, right? Depends on whether it's in the top part of the flag channel or the lower part of the flag channel. Right now, we're in the lower part of the flag channel, but we can come up to 35 and still be in the flag channel. And the higher part, we really need to get up closer to 36 now, high 35s, to show that we're attempting to break out of the channel. Okay. So holdings net where we closed was 1833. They're saying fair value was 1834, so we're selling at a penny discount. You see, this got a little better than the day before, but we've been in the 6, 7, and 8 range on our 38 synthetic. Let's just jump into the payouts. All right. So we collected $1.0734 in our first portion of a month, and this is our first full month, and hence we will get this distribution, both declared and payout in early July. And again, I think they're the 5th. They could be the 3rd. Could be the 3rd for the declaration and the 8th. Pretty sure it's the 8th. So anyway, that's coming up in 2+ weeks. Normally I track that in my other funds. Let's see if in my payout. Nope, I don't have it there. Apologize for that. I need to get that updated in here. So what I do have is reasonable monies in that we've already collected on the months. So they have money to distribute. It's just a question of how much. They probably won't roll that synthetic, which would knock this down, right? With only 226,000 gained in the synthetic, if you roll that, you would knock a lot of this money out. So I don't see them rolling it, and I do see them pay close to $1 here. Again, that's nice on an 18 NAV price fund that typically, based on its performance, would be a 30 or 40% yield, but that would be pretty substantial. So let's see how they treat it. Let's see if they pay the yield, or they're willing to give us a fair amount of money that they've collected. Again, on these new first-time funds, I'm not so sure, right? We haven't had a distribution. So I'll know more as we finish the month, and hey, maybe we'll break out before that time frame. So that's what I got right now. We're collecting money. It's clearly going to have a nice payout, but is it 40, 50% yield, or is it up in a 70 or 80% yield? Let's see. The IV on this thing is horrible. It's around 30, low 30s. I don't think they're going to pay that because we've collected more money than that over the 6-week period. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. Again, I'm really bullish on the precious metals miners. Just they need to break out, right? This isn't, until they break out, it's not something that I'm just going to buy every single week and keep buying. Do I think it could go into the 17s for the NAV? Sure. But it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I see 20, 25 easily as a NAV price when this bull market gets running. And it could go 30 or 40 for that matter. It's just when the gold stocks and the precious metals and silver miners run, they're going to run substantial. And then they're going to have some big pullbacks, right? But we'll deal with that. We got to have the fun stuff before we have to start worrying about pullbacks. This kind of stuff, bull flag flying and dipping down some, is no big deal. Okay, that's what I got for you. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. Bruce out. Bye.